Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. This is your second assignment for the week, and I want to talk about last week's assignment for a minute. I like the conspiracy idea regarding William Shakespeare and was a little disappointed in some of the responses that I felt like maybe didn't even watch the video, just went, no, obviously he's real. We know that a lot of authors write under pseudonyms, right? Mark Twain's not Mark Twain. Mark Twain's Samuel Clemens. Dr. Seuss obviously isn't Dr. Seuss. It's Theodore Seuss Geigel. He just used part of his middle name. Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, isn't Lewis Carroll. He's Charles Dodgson. And sometimes, like established writers who are under a name will then later add a pen name. So like Agatha Christie actually published some like romancy kind of things under Mary Westmacott. Ben Franklin published some stuff under the name Mrs. Silence Dogood. And I do think it's entirely possible that William Shakespeare may have been a real person, but that may have been the name they were publishing under, even though it was a group effort. And maybe it's just not a real person. Maybe it is literally a pseudonym. I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing later on. But in addition, there's some things you need to think about in regard to Shakespeare. He didn't write all of what he wrote. Romeo and Juliet, which he writes around 1594, the final version is his. In 1562, a British poet named Arthur Brooke writes kind of an epic poem called Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet. So that idea of Romeo and Juliet had been out there, and in 1530, Luigi da Porta, who's an Italian guy, wrote Giulietta e Romeo in the Italian. And that's probably the beginning work that Shakespeare based Romeo and Juliet on. Remember that Shakespeare, whoever and whatever he was, had serious deadlines that he was up against, much like a sitcom writer where you got to have a script by this date so you can get that show on there. Shakespeare had that going on. And remember, we're here to have fun and learn. So do me a favor, have fun and learn. Dig deep where it's possible. Go out there and look around. I view myself as an online professor, as somebody who's trying to raise questions and point out things he finds interesting. Which leads me to the second assignment of the week, Juliet. For the last 120 years or so, there have been an individual or a group of volunteers who answered all the letters that came to Verona, Italy, addressed to Juliet. Some of them are asking about love or how to find love, and some of them are asking advice. Some of them are chastising her for the choices she made. And in my face-to-face fine arts theater classes, students love to chastise her for falling in love after 15 minutes. Just take her to task. And that's okay. But she wasn't real. And yet, if you go to Verona, Italy, you can go to her house and her crypt. And there's a wall where people tack notes up to her. What? There's a PowerPoint associated here that you'll want to look through. And then I'm going to ask you to write a one-page letter to Juliet. And if you need to tell her what terrible decisions she made, fine. It's a creative writing assignment. It's out there to have fun. I am going to post a link to Letters to Juliet. A movie came out about these ladies who are doing the letter writing. And if you need some extra credit in this class, watch that. Send me a paper back and we'll count that, okay? But that's what we're doing. My job is to point out things that I think are interesting and try and get you to think they're interesting as well. So hopefully you do some research on your own, because we're all online. You don't get the benefit of sitting in my classroom, if that is a benefit, and listening to me 2 or 3 times a week. We're just here on video usually once or twice a week, and then I put up assignments that are intended to encourage you into further study. So have fun. do the work. Write a letter to Juliet. Submit it here. All right, bye.